Mike Gallagher Show.
The gravy train, for a lot of these folks, it's been on biscuit wheels, and it's about to run off the dadgum tracks, and it's about time. Could you imagine standing up here and defending waste, fraud, and abuse? But I think that's what we're seeing. When people squeal and don't ask questions, I think it shows the American public what the heck's going on.
In the ReliefFactor.com studios, here's Mike.
For Mike today, as he is at the White House, and we hope to be checking in with him soon to get a report. He'll be doing some interviews throughout the morning that some he'll share with you tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to check in with Mike here in just a few minutes. You know that clip that we just shared with you there, where a lot of the Democrats, Chuck Schumer leading the effort, are pushing back and trying to keep the Trump administration from weeding out the waste, the abuse, the fraud. And I just can't wrap my brain around why anybody would object to that. Why would even a Democrat, the farthest left Democrat in the U.S. House or the U.S. Senate, why would they object to someone like Elon Musk using his business ability to go in, take a fresh look at an agency, and make suggestions on how it can be run in a better way, how waste can be deleted, how abuse can be sought out and eliminated? Why would they object to this? I've tried to imagine what they're thinking. Now I understand they hate Donald Trump, but by trying to stop him from doing what the American people ask him to do, are they not really showing their true colors and how much they hate our country? How could you love our country and not want to see us get back on track, balance our budget, eliminate our debt? Elon Musk, in his interview last night with President Trump and Sean Hannity, made it very clear that if we don't do something now, our country's going to go bankrupt. In cut number 4, Musk talked about how our country, now's the time. We don't have a whole lot of time left if we don't get this train back on the tracks. Here's Elon Musk.
The overall goal is to try to get $1 trillion out of the deficit. And if the deficit is not brought under control, America will go bankrupt. This is a very important thing for people to understand. A country is no different from an individual in that if an individual overspends, an individual can go bankrupt, and so can a country. And the massive waste, fraud, and abuse that has been going on, which is leading to a $2 trillion a year deficit. That's what the president was handed on Jan 20th, a $2 trillion deficit. It's insane.
It's almost like we have become so accustomed to deficit spending that we're numb to it now. You know, there was a time in my lifetime where we balanced the budget and where we frowned upon deficit spending. But it's like even Republicans, look, we've had control of the U.S. House and U.S. Senate before when we have spent more than we took in. But Elon Musk had been very clear, and we all have known it, but by his organization going in and literally giving us examples of some of the fraud, some of the abuse, some of the waste, that just brings it full center, doesn't it? A texter on the MyPillow text line says, I was struck by Musk always and only respectfully and probably intentionally referring to Trump as the president, not by first name, last name, or nickname, but as president. Trump, however, used Musk as first name, showing a friendship. And, I noticed that too. But that's what you do when you're sitting there with the President of the United States. I don't care how good of friends you are. And in private, he may call him Donald. But in public, he's always the president. And that's just Musk showing his respect by referring to him as the president. You know, there was one point, too, in last night's interview. If you saw any of it, you noticed that Musk was wearing his official uniform, a T-shirt, a black T-shirt, and last night it had tech support on it. And in cut number 5, he's very clear that he views himself as just someone working for Donald Trump, as Donald Trump's tech support.
I'm a technologist, and I try to make technologies that improve the world and make life better.
Your shirt.
Yeah, and that's why I like my T-shirt says tech support, because I'm here to provide the president with technology support. And now that may seem like, well, is that a silly thing? But actually, it's a very important thing, because the president will make these executive orders, which are very sensible and good for the country, but then they don't get implemented. So if you take, for example, all the funding for the migrant hotels, the president issued an executive order. Hey, we need to stop taking taxpayer money and paying for luxury hotels for illegal immigrants, which makes no sense. Like, so obviously, people do not want their tax dollars going to fund high-end hotels for illegals, and yet they were still doing that even as late as last week. And so, we went in there and we're like, hey, this is in violation of the presidential executive order. It needs to stop. So what we're doing here is one of the biggest functions of the DOGE team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out. And this is, I just want to point out, this is a very important thing, because the president is the elected representative of the people. So he's representing the will of the people. And if the bureaucracy is fighting the will of the people and preventing the president from implementing what the people want, then what we live in is a bureaucracy and not a democracy.
That's a good point. And several times, and even President Trump gave Musk credit for the idea that he came to him and said, Mr. President, you can sign an executive order, but if they don't take it seriously or if it's not implemented, it means nothing. And showed the president how he needed to allow Musk and his team to hand deliver that executive order to whatever agency it is affecting, and making sure, watching over them, making sure they implement it. That's a good point. Very, very valid point. 800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. You can send me a quick text on the MyPillow text line. I always use promo code MikeG when you go to MyPillow.com to place your order. Phone calls are welcome. Teresa will put you in queue. We'll talk as time permits. Let's go to the phones. Todd is in Atlanta. Welcome, Todd. You're on the Mike Gallagher Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to say that the nation isn't bankrupting the government. The government is bankrupting the nation.
Bingo.
And, we've been fighting this for a long time. I went to a lot of Tea Party rallies back, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And, I recall when Newt Gingrich, we actually had a balanced budget before 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, and these bureaucrats are unelected. They are, who knows where this money is going, and this is the first time in my lifetime that I've ever been able to actually see under the hood of all these agencies. And, they're unionized. They're all, 90% of them vote Democrat, unelected bureaucrats. Who knows where this money is actually ending up?
Yeah.
I think it's going back into their coffers, and they can't stand that they're being exposed. And I love
Todd,
what Trump and DOGE are doing.
They're terrified, Todd, because, this has happened in less than a month. I mean, tomorrow will be the 1 month mark of Donald Trump's second administration. And look at what's already happened in this short period of time, and they're terrified of what can actually happen over the next 4 years. And you're right. This is the first time that the American people have been able to see on black and white, see this printed on a piece of paper, the billions and billions of dollars that's being wasted on programs that are just, they're hideous. Some of the things that we're seeing that our money's going to. And so they're terrified at what they know what else is out there, and they're terrified that Elon Musk is going to find it.
And they'll trace it back to them.
Yes,
I think that's what
exactly.
they're really scared of.
Exactly. Hey, appreciate your phone call, Todd. Have a great day. 800-655-6453. 6453. Line open for you. Chuck is in Sarasota, Florida. Welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show, Chuck. Hey, Chuck, you with us? Okay, I guess we lost Chuck. But you know, Todd makes a good point there. You can go to the website, to DOGE's website. Let's see, that's it's just DOGE, DOGE.gov. And right now, when you go to DOGE.gov, they have their wall of receipts. And you can go through there and you can see some of the latest expenditures that have been cut. For example, from the Department of Homeland Security, they've been able to find over $8 billion in savings now. The Agency for International Development, I'm not quite sure what they do, but they've been able to identify over $6 billion in savings. Department of Education, over $1 billion. And hey, when they just completely eliminate the Department of Education, that number is going to be even larger. Which that's a good discussion point. You know, there's a lot of speculation that maybe we've been talking about possibly eliminating the Department of Education for years now. Donald Trump seems to be intent on doing this. And if it's ever going to be eliminated, this is the time that it will be. How do you feel about that? I mean, do you agree that education is better being regulated, being formulated at the local level? Can our local school boards and even our state Department of Educations, can we send that money, to, for example, in my home state of South Carolina, to the South Carolina Department of Education, our superintendent, Ellen Weaver, who's a great person? Can we send that money to her for her to funnel it down to the local school districts and it be better spent? Are you good with that? Do we need a Department of Education at the federal level? 800-655-6453. Love to get your comments. You can text me on the MyPillow text line as well, 800-655-6453. I'm Joey Hudson, in for Mike today. Mike is at the White House, and we're hoping to be able to check in with him at some point to get an update, and we got a busy day for you. Of course, your phone calls, your comments. You can email me as well, Joey at joeyhudson.com. It's important that you join the conversation as well.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.